Hello everyone, this is Frank DiMora with the last Chronicles of Planet Earth, and today is March 15th, 2012, and this is going to be a fairly brief video. But if you just discovered my YouTube channel, I want to invite you to go to my prophecy site, BibleProphecyMan.com, where you're able to download my book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, which is a documentary on Bible prophecy and current events. You can do this download for free by clicking to this link. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you that if you didn't know prophecy, the news that we're watching and reading is really in our face as far as two prophecies that haven't been fulfilled yet. One is the Psalm 83 war. I've been giving a lot of information about this war that's coming. And the other one is the Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39 war that will come after this war, after the Psalm war. Now, in this Psalm 83 war, of which I'm going to show you, that to me it's amazing information that points to this coming war. But the Psalm 83 war, Syria is going to be a major player in this war. The Hezbollah is going to be a major player in this war. And so is the Hamas, as you see here, the Palestinians, the Lebanese, and the Jordanians. But you'll see these names of these countries and these leaders in the news today. And why you're seeing this news is because I believe that the Lord is showing us all kinds of signs that this war is about to take place. Now, when you get to my site, you'll be able to click the link and go right to the link, and I'm going to do that for you. But you'll see here that there's two men that are going to be very influential, and I believe that's going to be bringing on this Psalm 83 war. One of them is the Hezbollah leader, Nasrallah, as you see here, and the other one is the deputy director, or the Hamas deputy head of his name is Marzouk, and you'll see why this is important. Now let me go right to the article. And in the news as of yesterday, you see March 14th, it says Hezbollah, Hamas meet to coordinate positions in Gaza and Syria. Now every one of these nations are listed in that psalm. The Gaza, the people, the Palestinians living in the Gaza area, where we're seeing all these rockets flying in from the Gaza into Israel. A lot of tension, major tension going on between the Palestinians and the Gaza, who are mentioned in the Psalm 83. So let me read what it says, and then I'll connect the dots for you. According to the Lebanese newspaper Nasrallah, or Hezbollah's Nasrallah, and the Hamas Muzar Abdul Marzouk hold discussions about Gaza, Syria, and relations with Iran. Now this is important because when you look at the map here, let me bring it back so you can see this. When you look at the map, you'll notice that in this war, the Ezekiel 38 and 39 war, Iran is involved in this war that comes against Israel in the latter years, as it is said in the book of Ezekiel. Meaning the latter years means the end, just before Jesus Christ comes back. This war is going to happen. Now, if you notice in the names here, you'll find out the absence of Iran. Now, even though Israel is having major problems with Iran and is threatening to attack Iran right now, she is not mentioned in this attack. And so this article becomes really important because they're naming every single one of these nations that are in either this prophecy or this prophecy, just about when it comes to Iran, the Palestinians, and so forth. Now let me go back to the article. There it goes. And so it says that the parties agree to cooperate to face unfolding situation in Syria, as well as the border war against Israel. Now, if you read Psalm 83, you'll see that it is going to be a war with all of these nations against Israel. But let's go on. It says Hezbollah, or the chief, Nasrallah, and he held a meeting this week with the delegation from the Hamas headed by, as I showed you before, this Hamas political bureau deputy. He's the chairman there. So according to the report, the meeting in Lebanon, notice that is another one of the nations in that Psalm 83. So that meeting was in Lebanon, centered around events in the Gaza Strip. Again, from the Psalm 83. So the people in the Gaza Strip, they're having a meeting, again, about all the things that are taking place and obviously the tensions between Israel. Then it goes in the Gaza Strip and Syria, as well as the relationship between the Iran-sponsored Hezbollah, Hamas, and Tehran. Tehran, for those who may not know, is the capital of Iran. It says, and until recent changes in the Middle East, Hamas was increasingly tied to the paymasters in Iran. In other words, this group, this organization, Hamas, which is an organization that has stated that they want to eliminate Israel completely, they were being more or less supported and funded by Iran. But this article shows us that there's a change, and this change is very important, as you'll see. It says, but with the increased power of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, of which I warned you back in January that this group would take over in Egypt, and they have done so. It says the Palestinian terror group has moved away from Iran and towards Egypt. Now let's look back at my maps here. So if they're moving away from Iran, and Iran is not mentioned here, and they're going towards Egypt, in other words, they're looking for more support, they're looking for strength with Egypt. This fits directly, precisely into the same people who are in this war, because Iran is not involved in this war. So I hope that you could see what I'm showing you here, because this is really major. Let me go back to the article. All right, so let me pick up here again. So we see that the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, the Palestinian terror group, has moved away from Iran towards Egypt. Hamas has closed its office in Syria, capital Damascus, and has set up headquarters instead in Cairo and Qatar. So Cairo, obviously, Egypt. As it could not be seen as a Sunni movement to be supporting the Syrian al-Wati regime's crackdown on the largely Sunni revolution. The report also noted that all sides in the meeting had agreed that Israel was responsible for the recent cross-border conflict in Gaza. So again, when they say all of these sides, they're telling you it is all of the sides in this prophecy, all of the people that is mentioned in this psalm. That's who this article, this news article, is pointing to. So let's go back to the article again. It says, during which the southern Israel was bombarded with several days of intense rocket fire. Hamas and Hezbollah plan to coordinate their actions in case of a border war with Israel. Okay, get this, because this is extremely important. So what you have here is the same exact people that will be coordinating together. That's what the article is all about. That's what they're saying to us. And when you look again at let me get back here. When you look at here in Psalm 83, when you read the psalm, it says that these people come together and counsel together to get rid of Israel. And essentially what we're seeing here in this news article is this is what they're doing. They're preparing themselves for what's going to happen in the future. Hamas and Hezbollah plan to coordinate their actions in case of a border war against Israel. And it says all sides agreed on this. So what they're doing is essentially already they're beginning to do exactly what the Lord had already shown us so many years ago. And since we are living in the latter days, we're seeing events that are leading up to the Psalm 83 war. So it says, the meeting participants said that Israel launched the latest rounds of fighting to test the responses of the Islamic Jihad, the Hamas and Hezbollah, ahead of its planned strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, the report said. And so we have all the participants here, and notice, just like the mainstream media, that you can hardly find any place where it says that, the Israelis were just minding their own business and the Palestinians started to lob these rockets in to Israel. In a 4-day period, they launched over 200 rockets against Israel. What do they expect? Israel to do nothing? But the mainline stream news, they all reflect on what Israel does in response. And so what we have here is also connection to Zechariah 12:3, where all the nations come against Israel in the last days, and this is also part of prophecy. But what we have in this article is essentially the road leading to Psalm 83, and I pray that you understand this, because you are going to see this war. I really believe that it's not that far off. God's word will be fulfilled. I wish I can give you the very date. Obviously, I can't. All I know is what was written in the scriptures is going to happen. And I wanted you to know about this. This is why I report quite a bit on Psalm 83 and the Iranian war that will line up. Or it's not the Iranian war. The Iranians will war against Israel, and the Iranians will line up with Russia to come down with their other allies against Israel after this war. So believe me, the news is parallel to what the Lord had warned us, and I'm praying that you'll receive Christ before these wars break out, because we just don't know how long it will be before the Lord comes home or comes back to take his church out of the way. And you'll see all of the information leading up to this war. When you get into my book, you'll see the Psalm 83 war chapter, and also the coming war against Israel in the Ezekiel war. So please take my offer. It's a free book. Download it today. God bless you all.